I'm sheltering from the wind in the lee of Barnard Castle, and I'm bracing myself to head off on our way to Whitby. We're gonna not get there today, but we're on our way. And we're going into the teeth of the wind. And I'm assuming that by the time I get there, my bike will have no paint left on it. It'll have abated off. This castle is really just a ruin. You have to pay to get in. It's interesting to walk around. It's still got the remains of a moat around it. Yeah, it's a medieval fortress. You can see how it can command the area. Wow, we've just come like 3 or 4 minutes ride from the castle. You know, it's just been wonderful. Like all these old stone, everything's fantastic, everything's picture perfect. And now we've arrived at the Bows Museum at Barnard Castle. And like, wow, it's like we've been transported to France. It looks like a French chateau in the middle of England. So we're going to go in and have a look around. And supposedly there's an art gallery, there's cafes, there's free parking here as well.
Today we were following the National Cycle Route 165, and as you can see there's a little hiccup. If you're going to be stuck anywhere, this is a really pretty place. Just waiting for Charlie to get back. He's investigating the bridge, and we're going to regroup and change our path.
It just keeps on getting better. As well as the wind, we're going to be on one cycle route the whole way, which was going to be lovely. But we just got to a little village where it has a bridge across the river, and the bridge is closed. I mean, it's completely closed. I rode down because it's in a river valley, and I got down there, there's no way we can get across. So we're now recalculating, and it doesn't look good.
Okay, we're going through High Close and Appleby instead of sticking to the National Cycle Path. Because of this diversion, it looks like it's going to work out better. We can pick up some supplies on the way through. So there's a slight deviation on the map, then we're back on that National Cycle Network trail.
We've ridden out of our way to a town called Herworth because there's very few grocery stores anywhere, and there's this little spa here. So, you know, it's lovely. The tarmac was really lovely today, and the wind was quite punishing when you were riding against it. We're 7 kilometres into today's ride, and PJ would say it's all been uphill, but it's been mostly uphill. There has been some downhill, and we're in a beautiful township or village of Hornby. You know, it's funny, a lot of the places around here have B at the end, BY. Why? Can somebody tell us in the comments below? We just rejoined the National Cycle Route 165, and we're on our way to Whitby. There is a conversation going on between PJ and I about catching the train the last like 20 miles, which is all hilly, and PJ is revolting. I mean, she's getting upset. She's not revolting. Okay, so anyway, I wonder how it goes. I feel that I may lose, but you know, who knows? Well, we just had a break for about an hour and a half because we're running a bit early in this beautiful little village, and we went to this community hub cafe right next to us, which also has a business centre where we did some printing, and also a little library where we sat and read for a little while. It was so lovely. It was manned by these little old ladies who are just adorable, and the village itself is like stepping back in time. It doesn't have any overhead power lines, so you can sort of envision, if you can blank out the cars, this is what it's looked like for hundreds of years. It's really lovely. Okay, other than the wind today, it looks like things are going well for us, because for once the diversion and the road closure isn't the path that we're taking. Woohoo!
It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house music. It's all about love. It's all about house. It's all about house. It's all about house. It's all about house.
We just rode into the North York Moors National Park, and the first village we came to is one called Ingleby Greenhouse. I don't know how they chose these names, but it was absolutely picture perfect. It was really funny. There's a hill that comes up out of the village, and PJ had cars behind her, and they stopped at the top of the hill, and they said it was very amusing watching her ride up the hill because she was so slow, and I think she made it look very difficult. It's not much of a hill, let me tell you. But it was kind of funny. They pulled over and talked to her, you know. Look, we're riding against the wind. It's very windy, okay? So PJ's won. We're going to catch the train at the railway station just down here, and just catch the train the rest of the way through to Whitby. It's a little bit of a defeat, but it's really kind of miserable riding against the wind.
As always, I really like giving the locals entertainment. It's just part of, you know, being a cyclist. But they were very lovely. I think they were trying to make sure I was okay when we got to the top. I'm looking forward to Whitby because Charlie's sister Helen loves it and she raves about it. So we're really interested to find out why she thinks it's so fantastic.
It's all about house music. House music. House music. House music. House music. House music. House music.
Okay, we just arrived at Whitby railway station, and we're on our way to our accommodation. You know, the first impression is it's very busy, especially getting on the train. People just got on the train before the people on the train got off. You know, they were just sort of mobbed. Yeah, so something to know that it seems a busy place. It's 5:30 on a summer's day in Whitby, and all the palms are in the water. It's bloody freezing. You know, I went down and touched the water and my finger snapped off. Okay, so like they're just stronger than I am. Whitby seems like it's a very, very touristy place, and it's set up for British tourists, I think, you know, internal tourists, because there's definitely some stuff that I don't think would appeal to many people from overseas. PJ will show you some of them, but you know, it looks like lots and lots of cool things to see. You can see the Abbey at the top, and you can see the stairs on their way up. We'll be doing that tomorrow. Okay, we're at Whitby at my sister Helen's encouragement. and we can see where Dracula went, you know, up there at the ruins. And we've just walked through Whitby. It's really lovely, and we really want to walk up along that cliff up there and explore those larger buildings. It's really nice. We're out on the end of a sort of breakwater at the moment, protecting the harbour mouth or the river mouth, and so far we're really impressed with the whole place. It's very emblematic of a British seaside resort, we've been told. It was very cold. I was going to go for a swim, but it's too cold. One side fact that we learned that's interesting about Whitby is there's been wharves here since the 1100s. And there's a really cute boat down here. It reminds me of the boats in Porto. So it used to take the port up and down the river. And it's beautiful. It's called Sea Salt, and it just makes you want to go out to sea and have a lovely day at the beach.
Where are we off to next?
We're going up to the Abbey. There's like 170 steps or something. People making a big deal out of it, but I'm sure we can push up 170 steps. The beaching from the Leviathan, Kraken PJ will be legendary, but she'll make.
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh.
We're at the southern headland of Whitby, and it's got a beautiful, glorious panoramic view. You can see all the palms in the water, which is freezing cold, swimming. God bless them. And you can see the port and all the works. It's really worth the walk up here. The 199 steps, very easy. They're only half rises. It's really nothing.
My bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change.
Hey, we just did our tour of the Abbey, which in the 1600s the king was worried about all the monks, so he got rid of the monastery, disbanded it, and it fell into ruin. But there's literally been people here worshipping for 3,000 years, and it was really interesting. And you know, PJ has a natural affinity to this place because while she sucks the life out of just me over a long period of time as the Kraken, she really liked catching up with Dracula. Up at the Abbey, there's a YHA, which we desperately wanted to stay in, but we left it too late and it was all booked out. And we did our bookings like 3 weeks in advance. Yes, it is school holidays, but we should have booked earlier. So I would encourage you to book up there. There's double rooms and they're no more expensive than staying in the town, and it's beautiful when you get up here. I thought it was actually great that we're staying in the town, but now I'm being up here, I'm sad that we didn't stay at the Abbey. The Abbey is interesting, but it's just a ruin really, and you know, it's commercialised. It was $17.50 for each of us to get in. On the way up and down from the steps, there's a church called St. Mary's. It's more interesting, it's free to go into, and from the outside before we'd gone in, I was saying, oh, it looks like a complete hodgepodge. You can just see where it's been built on lots and lots of times. And when you go in, you find that even back in the Saxon period, there was a church here, but there's very little remaining of that. But in the Norman period, you know, this is 1,000 years ago, they built this church, and they've just added on and added on over the last 1,000 years. And they give you out a little pamphlet that tells you all the history, and you can pick out all the original. And it's got all the artifacts over the last 1,000 years in there, and it's got like box pews, so it's very unusual. And I think it's a lot more interesting than the actual Abbey. So I would 100% encourage you to go and explore this and book out some time to do it, because it's so interesting.
There's so many people. Oh my god.
I'd just like to thank my sister Helen for suggesting us come to Whitby. You know, it's been great, and we talked to quite a few people, and they tell us this is a quintessential British holiday destination, and we met people that come back every year, and they just do it every year, and they love it. And I can see why, because the beaches are nice, although the water's way too cold for me, and you know, it's just beautiful, and there's lots to do. And you know, the Abbey and the walks surrounding here are really lovely. So I'd encourage people to come and visit beautiful Whitby, but don't go in the water, don't go in